Well, hello there. We are out here at Prairie Aviation Museum with our World War II display. Today we have a 1945 Jeep Willys, late war configuration, along with a 1943 Ford early war configuration Jeep. We also have a large display of weapons, ordnance, and all sorts of different type of equipment that soldiers would have been using on the Normandy invasion and D-Day. I am personally dressed up right now as a 101st Airborne Infantry. We would have paradropped into the beaches or actually behind the beaches to mess with German supply lines, take out small important areas and positions so that the mainland infantry could land on the beaches and push on up and into France and free Paris. So if we walk over here to this display, we have a small assortment of patches, badges, and other units and equipment that would be used. So over here, these are the rations that soldiers would have gotten. Their canned foods, their boxed meals, and cigarettes, obviously. We've got some attack maps and airborne patches and airborne jump wings along with gliders. Those were very important troops during the time. They were the first attack, first assault. Moving down, we've got a lot of pilots' wings and a bunch of Air Corps badges. And these are all small or sewn-on breast wings for dress uniforms. And if we move on over here, we've got a small display of weapons. We'll start with the trench gun. It was a favorite for the soldiers. Easy to clear rooms. Then we move on to the P-17 infield, which was used more during the First War in small reserve groups. Kill the radio. Which is used with small recon groups. Then we have the 1909 Springfield and two M1 Grands. These were the main arms of the American military at the time. Moving on down, we have a bugle for bugle calls in the mornings. It's a very important thing. We also have, this is what a walkie-talkie would have looked like in 1940. So not very easy, and they weigh about 10 pounds, so not very light either. We've got a small assortment from early war to late war hand grenades, ordnance, 30-06, 50 cal, a 20 mil, and a 75 round from a Sherman tank. This is a inflation belt. It would have been a small life jacket, basically. It'd go around your waist, and every man that ran up the beach wore one of these, just in case they got dropped a little low in the water. Moving on, we were still slightly afraid that the Germans would use gas warfare on us in the Second War, so each man was also running up the beach equipped with a rubberized gas mask bag, and airborne troops were given this small gas brassard. It would change colors if we came in contact with any gas. That would tell us to get out of here. Moving on to the heavy weapons and support table, we have a Browning automatic rifle, or BAR, otherwise known as. We have an M1 carbine, which radio men would have carried it, NCOs, or, as we have here, a bazooka man would have carried it. It's a smaller arm, lighter for carrying, if you're carrying more ammo for bazooka rockets, you'd want a smaller weapon. And this is just a basic infantryman's equipment setup. And this is a basic airborne troopers equipment setup. And one of the last setups we have over here is a small mortar pit. So mortars were very important after we had taken the main beach. We would set these mortars up, and it would be the only small support or small artillery support the GIs would have had up into the hedgerows without calling a battleship, for instance, to call in an airstrike or a bombardment. And the last thing we have is we have a headquarters Jeep set up with a machine gun, a trailer, and a camo net with ammo boxes too. If you're driving through the hedgerows and you're laying down a lot of fire, you're going to need a lot of ammo. Now, as I said earlier, the other Jeep that we saw in the beginning of the video is a 1945 Willys. This one I just finished restoring, and it is a 1943 Ford. Very little people know, but Ford did make Jeeps during the war, and they were only allowed to make the contract during wartime. Collapsible windshield. Driving through the brush, you wouldn't want any glass getting hit or bullets hitting glass, so most times when you're in combat, this is how the Jeep would have been set up.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you for the tour.
Oh, no problem.
And what are you guys going to do now? Do you got to pack up?
Yeah, we got to pack up, take down the equipment and our tents, and load up everything and head on out of here. Thank God we're not too far away.
Is the tent something? Is that an army tent?
Yes, that is.
Let's go look at the tent.
Yeah.
I'm going to